Alright everyone, how's it going? Hopefully you're having a wonderful night. So in the last video I explained that we were going to do the front bushings on this Jeep, and it's that time. That's what we're going to do this evening. So I have a box here from Metal Cloak. Let's dig into it and show you the parts I have and show you what we'll be installing. We're going to go through it step by step and install it together. First time I've ever done one of these, so we'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be fairly easy if you have a welder, but we'll figure it out. So let's open this up so you can see what's inside. Alright, so here we go. This is what we got in the box. We have the actual main bracket part, some grease, and the sleeves, the bushings. Look how cute they are. They're so little. And nut and bolt package. And washers and spring clips. Alright, so supposedly how this goes together is this one gets pushed in the pumpkin side bushing. This one gets pushed into here and then welded. And then we have to go cut a portion of the bracket off, locate this in there, and put a bead around it. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're over at the welding bench. Here's the two parts we have. Now, either of these will work. They're both the same, so don't worry about grabbing the wrong one. Some interesting information to note. This will actually end up being in the front. So if my Jeep is pointed this way, this will have to be installed like this. So this little chamfer angled piece here goes towards the front of the Jeep. Okay, now that we got that handled, the next part is how this is installed. Now, according to the documentation, you just can't put it in any way. If you actually look, there is a groove in here. And so what that means is that groove is going to dictate which way the bushing gets pushed in when you finally push it in. And also you'll notice that there's a snap ring groove in here too. Let me see if I can get you in on that. Yeah, there's the snap ring groove. So they want you to put this in a very specific way. Does it matter? I'm not sure, but we're going to do it the way they say it. So what they tell you to do is they tell you to aim this like it's towards the front, and you're going to put this in from the passenger side like this. And you'll notice how loose the fit is here. I mean, it doesn't wobble, but it's enough for this to slide in. You're going to weld around here. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go get the gear on, let's get the welder fired up, and we'll start laying some beads down here. I think what I'm going to do is actually clamp this so it's nice and tight. Not sure that's really necessary. You probably just give a little pressure and do a little tack. We may just do that. Give some pressure and give a few little tacks, then go and weld it. I'm not sure you got to weld all the way around here either. You do want to be careful not to distort this. It is pretty thick, but still, you don't want to weld through that lip right on the inside of there either. You want to keep that lip intact. So when you do this, you know, the weld is just stopping this from sliding side to side. So once you weld it, get a good bead on there, you should be fine. So let's get everything ready, and then let's get to welding. Okay, just a slight correction here. I reread the directions. You're actually not going to weld around this piece. I mean, you probably could, but it makes sense that you wouldn't because you don't want to disturb that lip. You're actually going to weld on this side. One, there's a much better purchase for your weld for you to get in there. And two, this is much thicker right here, so your chances of warping this housing are pretty low. You still want to keep the bead lower because you don't want to distort this outer ring where the snap ring goes, but this is much better to hit than this side. I still might go and tack this side in a few spots, just a few simple tacks, but this is the side you want to weld to. So okay, now that this is together, we're going to go ahead and get the welder set up and everything and do this. Alright, so next step is we're going to remove this control arm here, and we're going to press out this bushing and then press in the new one. before we push this bushing in, we need to grease it. And then you're going to take 2 washers. One's going to go on the inside, and then one's going to go here, and then your snap ring. But first we got to grease this up. That should be good. Give special attention to those little grooves in there. Those really need to be filled. Those trap most of the grease you're using, and you have to use the grease they provide with you. I think it's lithium grease. You can't just use normal grease on these guys. So I just kind of go around here and give it a whole junk load since I'm not going to be taking them out anytime soon. Okay, and remember these washers, like I said before, are 2-sided. There's a smooth side, which is that side, and a sharp side or a flat side. The flat side goes on the outside of the bushing so it doesn't cut it. With this, you only need 1 snap ring. And what will happen is you'll put your washer in, smooth side facing towards the bushing, and then you'll take your other washer, put it smooth side in facing towards the bushing, and then 1 snap ring. So it's kind of a nice system. These are bigger than normal. So we're going to have to drill out the control arms to this size, which I'm not sure what this is, but we'll figure that out. I'm probably just going to use a step bit on them, or maybe I'll figure something else out. But okay, so let's go ahead and get these in. Alright, good morning everyone. So last night we had to stop. It just got too late for me. I got too tired after fussing with that whole side of getting that axle bushing in. Finally got it in, as you saw, but I couldn't get the snap ring in. I have 3 sets of snap ring pliers, 2 from Harbor Freight that are like this size. I think these are 12 inchers, and then 1 really small 8-inch dude. Maybe these are smaller. No, these are 12 inch, and the one I have is like a 6-inch for like hobby stuff. The 6 inches will definitely not work. It's way too tiny. It's not gonna happen. These guys though, while they're the right size, the handle length, and they're like nicely thin and profiled. The problem with the Harbor Freight ones are these bits, and you might be able to see it. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but actually I took a bench grinder and grind these tips down. They're entirely way too thick and massive, and they don't fit any snap ring unless your snap ring is like massive with massive holes on there. Even my bigger axle bushings for the control arms, these don't even fit those properly because these ends are just so big. So I don't really know what the problem with these are. However, you don't need right angle bits for that front bushing, even though it's really close to that spring. These are the ones that I got from Home Depot. They're a little expensive. They're 8-inch dills. That's what you want with the straight bits, and it will work. What you have to do though is if this is your spring, like this, you're going to ride this thing right up against it like that, and you just grab it and squeeze, and you'll be able to do it. Last night, I probably farted around with it for an hour trying to get different methods to get that snap ring in there, because sometimes there's little tricks you can use to get a snap ring in, but they're way too thick and way too heavy duty to do that. These are the ones to get. They're just at Home Depot. It's the 927 model. Any snap ring pliers this size will probably work, though. You could probably get the $9 ones from Home Depot, but I think these ones will work on the rest of my bushings too. Anyway, okay, so today we're going to finish this up. We have to drill out that upper control arm on the driver's side still, put that all back together, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tackle the other side, the harder side. This is where we have to cut and weld, and we already welded up the other piece last night, so now we just got to cut that top bushing off, slip this piece in, and put a bead of weld around it, and then drill out the other control and bolt it in. So it is a fairly easy install as long as you don't start it late like I did and you have the right tool for the snap ring. But other than that, okay, so let's get going. We need to get this done today because tomorrow we are leaving this location at 5 in the morning. So we have to be up to Utah in one day. It's about a 10, maybe 11-hour drive. So it's going to be a long day. So today, we're going to get this done so that we can get everything packed. Okay, so let's do it. All right, so the last step is to drill these out. I'm just going to use a step bit, and we're just going to go slow and try to get it right. So we got to go from this little tiny bolt to this big bolt. So let's get it done. Look at the size difference. But okay, so let's get this done. If you have the big bolt control arms, then this doesn't matter. But if you have the regular ones like I do, then you'll have to do this. We're just going to go one step at a time. Looks like that's the ticket right there. There we go. All right, let's flip it and do the other side. So, we got everything welded up. We just got to push that last bushing in. We'll grease it, push it in, put the control arm up, and then we'll be done. And then we'll do a overview. Okay, so I'm gonna get that done real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, everyone. So we're done with that. I got it cleaned up because I had to get some dinner. I was pretty hungry after that. But so the bushings, I think they're a worthwhile upgrade. I took it for a drive. It drives really good and smooth. Before that, I had a little bit of wobble in the steering wheel at certain speeds, and I knew it was those front bushings because mine were worn out. And I elected with this upgrade only because that the stock bushings are really hard to get out. You have to hammer on them. The one side, the passenger side, is notorious for bending when you try to get it out. So I decided instead of doing that, let's upgrade. And since I already had Metal Cloak on the rest of the Jeep, I didn't feel the need to go with the Curry, although the Curry looks like a really nice kit. And I would see no problems with installing that. Just for me, since I already have Metal Cloak, I decided this time I'll just keep it all that. Who knows what will happen further down the road if the Jeep changes. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Give a thumbs up if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you like what's going on with the channel. Stay tuned for more stuff going on. We have a lot coming up. I think you'll enjoy what's coming up next. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Oh, and if you have any questions or comments, hit them down below. I enjoy reading them, and maybe we can start a dialogue. Tell me what you think about those front bushings. I think they're going to be really sweet, especially for changing them out, since you can just like push them out. All right, guys. See you later.